Welcome back, everybody. Mudford here. I'm headed back to my back shed. Man, we've got a little problem in here. Little thing I'm gonna have to try to fix today. You can see the lumber. I got some lumber stacked up here. I think it's a 10 by 12. 10 by 12 maybe. 8 by 12. I don't know. See the nice high lift jack? See, we had a little bit of snowfall, and actually this roof collapsed last year. I popped it back out and then was going to fix it last summer, and of course forgot about it. And then this year we got a little bit of snow, not a ton yet, and it collapsed. I got it kind of rigged up right now. The goal is to take the 2x4s outside and run them one on each side of the C channel here. Sandwich it together. Same with the I-beam in the middle. Sandwich it, sandwich that. And then I've got 4x4 posts for the four corners. I'll have to back it up a little bit away from the door because the door slides in there, and run it right up to my beams there. And same on the back. 4x4s there, and then I'm probably going to run some 2x4s tied in to tie the beams together just to make it a little stronger so we don't have any more collapsing. Wanted to pull my mower out of the way, but I don't know if you can see that. Ice, it's all froze right down because it was caved in. I've got it popped back up quite a bit now, but this was hanging real low right here, and the snow was melting, running in here, refreezing on the floor. So the mower is froze right down to the floor, so I can't even move it out of the way. So I'm just making the best of it and using it right now to pop the roof back out. So that's what I'm doing today. I guess I'll just keep recording my updates. I don't really have time to record the whole time while I'm working. It's too much of a pain, but I'll just show you every few minutes what I'm getting done when I get the 2x4s in and all that. Probably going to clamp them. We'll see. It's probably going to be a pain in the butt and take all day. It really sucks. I'm glad I got my heater here because this morning we had like 18 below. That's what the thermometer in the van said when I was taking the kids to school this morning. So hopefully I can get it, at least have a place to warm my hands up in here. And I got to keep working on this. Okay, here's what I've done so far. I've got this jack wedged in here. I got a 4x4 on the high lift. I put it right next to my beam, not under it because the beam was all folded up. I got it jacked up so that the beam was fairly straight across. It was curled down quite a bit in the middle. Got it fairly straight, used a pry bar, hammer, clamps, and got that slid, 2x4 slid right into the I-beam. It's not quite tight at the top. But it's bent. The I-beam has got crinkles in it. You can see some of the crinkles right there and up there. So it's not going to fit perfect, but it should work fine like this. Then on the other side, I don't know if you can see, put a couple of screws in through the beam where there were holes. I didn't put them at the top. I just put them at the bottom. A couple of spots. Right there's one. And there's one across, and those are going into the beam. And now for the moment of truth, I'm gonna lower the high lift jack down and see if the roof will stay up. Before it bowed it had quite a bow in it. Hopefully it'll be good. We'll give it a try here. Whoa! Yeah, I already had most of the weight off of it, I guess. That was smooth, but it's holding up just fine. So now I guess what my next step is going to be, I got the middle fairly supported. I'm going to cut another, because these aren't quite 12 feet. I think they're 141 and like a half or 3/4 is what I'm using. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut another one down to that length. Try to slip it up on the other side of that beam. I got some 3-inch screws. I'm going to go ahead and put some 3-inch screws through it, and we'll call the middle beam done. And then I'll probably get working on that side over there. I'm probably going to put the high lift because I'm on the wrong, I want to be on the other side of the beam. on the other side of that beam. I'm on the outside edge of it. I'd like to be on the inside because the roof is higher on the inside edge of it, because it's like a, I don't know what you call it, barn roof or gambrel style, whatever you call the thing, and it has 2 pitches to it. So it's steeper right there, and it's closer against the beam, so I don't want to try to jack it up too high there. It's better to jack it up on the inside where the roof is actually a little higher than the beam. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I think in order to keep from having them popped out at the top like this one, I think it'll be fine. But what I'll do is I'll run, I think the slope is a lot more on these ones once I get this straightened out. That'll be probably the last one I'll do. But if you can see in there the angle, it's angled quite a bit. It's not like a flat C. The top isn't flat like this. It's turned down. So I think I'm going to run my boards, my outside boards here, I'm going to run them through the table saw and cut a somewhat of an angle on them so they fit in there a little better. But right now I'm going to just cut one of my 12 footers down just a little bit, try to get it sandwiched up in there. I'll use some clamps and pry bar, hammer, whatever I need to get it squeezed up in there. Clamp it together as tight as I can, and I'm going to use some 3-inch screws. I'll probably be coming in on both sides of it, you know, put some in on this side, some in on the other side, and hopefully that'll hold good. And then I'm going to switch over here to my C channels and pretty much do the same thing. Try to get them straightened out as best I can. Hopefully I'll get that all done. Hopefully I'll be able to get that done today. And I still have some issues here with the roof. She's a little popped down. Once I get the beam straight, then I'm gonna run some supports to tie in, probably maybe 5 on each side here. That'll probably be about right. 1 on each end, 1 in the middle, and then a couple more to tie it in, and hopefully that'll keep anything like this from happening again. Oh, I mentioned the post. That's gonna be, I'll probably do that the post before I do the tie-in. So okay, I'm gonna get working on that, and I'll. Okay, well I got the beam in now. It's slid in, or the 2x4 into the beam, clamped on. I got a couple of screws, but as you can see from this one, maybe my bit is getting all hammered out. So I'm gonna have to, when I run in to pick up the kids, get a new bit, and hopefully that helps. It's just stripping them right out and slipping. It's terrible. So I do got the center beam in, so hopefully that helps. I'm ready to switch over, get my high lift over here, jack up out right inside of this, and hopefully get a 2x4 slid into the other side, the back side on the C channel, and get it screwed in, probably using some of these holes temporarily. Slap another beam on the outside, and I'll be happy then. Okay, so I ran the 2x4 through the table saw, got an angle on the top part of it. It is up inside of there now. See if you can see it. See, it's right up in there, all the way down. I think what I'm going to do now is cut the other one just like it while I got the right angle on the saw, and jack this beam up and slip one inside of there, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's where we're at. I got all of my beams cut. I got the ones on the outside of both outside beams. The C beams are screwed in. I've got the inside ones cut to length. The middle I-beam is all slid in, clamped. I just got to run some screws into it. I got my bits now. My wife came back from town with my some new bits. Hopefully these work a little better and don't strip out like my old one that I had. I got 2 of the end 4x4s cut. I've just got to cut the other 2 and somehow get back through that mess and get them up in there. Screw the beams together, and then I'm going to run some little rafter, whatever you want to call them, boards down from that one to that one to keep this from happening again, that sag. and then we'll be done. Okay, so there's one side, got the beams in. I got to still screw it together some, but I got the beams in. I drilled some holes in this so I could put my 3-inch screws so they wouldn't bite into the wood on the side I was starting them on, and they would catch on the other side and sandwich it together good. And I got the other side beams all in, so I'm going to be putting some screws in here, and then hopefully running the supports from one to the other, from one beam to the other beam. Okay, beams are all screwed together, screwed in, screwed onto the support posts. I think we're pretty much set. The one last thing we got to do, I got to take some measurements, cut some boards to go across here. I think we're going to have 5 on each side, and then maybe we'll get rid of this. I don't know if you should be able to see that drip. The roof is still sagged a little. I'm going to measure the ends where it should be flat. Hopefully we can, once I measure the ends, we'll be able to cut 10 pieces all that same length and jam them up in there, and hopefully that'll pop out. It'll have to, most of it, but hopefully then we can get it to the snow off and get it to quit leaking, and that's about it. And we'll have a nice, somewhat nice shed where we can actually keep stuff dry again. That would be nice. Okay, here's where we're at. It's getting dark. I drilled pocket holes. I got all my beams cut, or my from beam to beam boards cut. I drilled pocket holes in them, and I'm getting them put up now. I'm using my light on my cordless because I'm running out of light real fast. All I got to do now is get all these put up, so that's what I'm going to do. And that's probably going to be all for this project. Hopefully I can show you the end of it when I get it all done. Maybe I'll run out tomorrow morning and do a quick record on it and show you what it looks like when it's all done. That's all for now. Okay, everybody, I got this for the most part done. The roof, I've got the supports going across now. Finished it up last night late. The only thing I don't like is there's still in some spots a little bit of bowing in the middle. It's definitely solid now structurally. I don't foresee it collapsing any again. I think that part should be fine. This side over here seems really good too. But this side hadn't collapsed as bad as the other side. I don't see any bowing on this side. This side's got some spots that, especially like right there, that just aren't the greatest. I might have to do a little bit more, but it should keep from collapsing at least, and hopefully minimal ice inside. I'm sure I'm gonna have a little leak for sure right there. Probably more up here, but that's right at the peak, so that shouldn't be as big of a deal, I wouldn't think. But I feel a lot better. I'm not really worried about it collapsing now. I might get a little water leak, but I can work on that anytime. But it shouldn't completely collapse on me now. What I gotta do now is get this cleaned out a little bit, because I really don't like it this messy. Go through and organize it, probably get some more totes and have them slide under the shelves and fill with stuff, and throw away about half the stuff that I don't want anymore. Sort through my fishing stuff and all that jazz, but that is for another day, preferably a warmer day.